Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wa salam ala rasulillah, wa ashhadu la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, South Florida Muslim community.
وعليكم السلام.
السلام ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you guys very much for attending the new Zoom general body meeting. I know we're adapting a lot with this COVID pandemic. I just want to take a quick second and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect all of us, and I'll ask all of you to please remain safe and vigilant, and also make sure your communities remain safe and vigilant. They depend on you to provide guidance and leadership, during this time. So we're going to just jump right into it. We don't want to delay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a roll call. So I will go somewhat briskly, but please just answer here when I call your name. If there's somebody that says iPhone or something like that, I'm not going to be able to see that. At the end, I'll ask for you to announce yourself so we can take minutes. I think maybe that's Brother Jamil that has iPhone right there. I see it. I see his face, but it's not his name. Okay, so let me go ahead and start. So we have Samir, present. Brother Khalid, Mirza.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Fantastic. Mohammed Farouk.
Present.
Imam Nasib.
Here.
Suhail.
Yep, I'm here.
Brother Yunus.
Yeah.
Brother Abbas.
Present.
Hold on, something happened on my screen. 1 second. Well, that was weird. It's Sister Patricia.
Here.
Here. Sheikh Tariq.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Brother Shaquille.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Brother Shariar.
Present.
Taha.
Here.
Brother Tahir Haq.
Here. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Abdaruf.
Assalamu alaikum.
Afran. No, I'm sorry. Afra Amin.
Afra Hameen present.
Afra Amin. Sorry, sister.
No problem.
I'm sorry, my attendee thing, I don't know what's going on, Samir, but my thing is like juggling when I'm trying to go through roll call. The numbers
It's like when people unmute, so they come on top, Nizar. So just wait for a minute. Yeah.
I got you. Okay. We got Kathy, Sister Kathy.
I'm here.
Okay. Kuram.
Here.
Maha.
Here.
Brother Mir, I know you're here. Was that Malik? Brother Malik Mateen? Okay. Sister Rana?
Here.
It says Shay's iPhone. I don't know who that is. Shay's?
Assalamu alaikum. That's Shazad.
Oh, Shazad. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm sorry.
Brother Wazim? Brother Wazim? Okay, Dr. Khan? I see him. He's not hearing him. Alaikum salam. Brother Tayyip Yunus, you still on? Maybe he's joining us later. And Brother Tadiq.
You said Sadiq?
Alaikum salam, Brother Tadiq. Okay, do me a favor, just real quickly, if you can, if I did not announce your name, if you could please, I'm sorry for this housekeeping thing, we just have to keep good minutes. So if I did not say your name, can you please just announce yourself, raise your hand?
Wilfredo here.
Sister Azra Sayed.
Okay, Wilfredo, Azra, who else? Sister
Mohammed
Azra.
Hussein.
This is Junaid.
Junaid, okay.
Mohammed Hussein.
Mohammed, okay.
Shahad Al-Maruf.
Who?
Shahad.
Brother Al-Maruf. Thomas Al-Maruf.
Ah, okay.
Sayyid Naseem Haq, Helping Hand.
Naseem, Brother Naseem, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam from Helping Hand.
Tariq Asad.
Assalamu alaikum. Brother Tariq Asad.
Got it. Who else?
Assalamu alaikum. Jamil Rizvi here.
Yeah, I got you, Jamil. I got you in the beginning.
Okay.
iPhone man.
Brother Muntasir.
Muntasir. I messed this up, Samir. I thought I was doing a good job, but obviously I didn't.
Yeah.
I missed these people.
Okay. Yep.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
This is Ahmed Abdurrada.
Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, brother. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum, Hisham Muhammad.
Hisham, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Hisham.
I see Brother Muntasir has joined from Alamin.
Yeah, he said his name already.
Okay, great. Is that everyone?
Wali Slahuddin. Wali Slahuddin.
Brother Wali, assalamu alaikum.
Brother Wali. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Anybody else before we get started?
There's a hand raised, Brother Nazar, on iPhone XS Max.
Yes, I'm here.
Can you announce your name, brother?
Ahmed Abdurrada.
Oh, yeah, he already did. Ahmed, he already did. Okay. All right, guys, thank you for your patience during the roll call. So Brother Samir, you want to go ahead and start us off, inshallah?
If everybody can mute, please.
Inshallah. Inshallah, let's proceed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. And so nice to be here again with you all. Actually, it's I would say somewhat bittersweet. It's so sad that we're not able to see each other in person like we did before in our last general body meeting back in October of last year. It seems like a lifetime ago, right? We're in a different world now in 2020. However, having said that, it's really great that we can use this technology and convene and proceed with the with our work and with our general body meeting and as we all have been doing in our masajid and our organizations, pivot to this new model and new norm. This is indeed a time where I think we're going to be telling stories to our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. We won't be telling them, but I think they'll be hearing about this time when there was COVID and there was a mass pandemic in our country, and we had to use these strange virtual technologies. One of them was called Zoom. It's probably going to be outdated by then, right? They'll probably be laughing. And our mosques were closed, and we couldn't do Jummah, and we couldn't do Hajj. So, may Allah keep us safe in these times, and may Allah, more importantly, may Allah keep us spiritually and united and spiritually connected, and keep our hearts together, even though as we are physically isolated and separated. So now I'll just be really brief. You know, I'm not going to take a long time, but I just want to say a couple more words, and then we'll go ahead with the agenda. But I just want to say, given that backdrop with COVID, it's more crucial, and it's more apparent the need to kind of work together, and and become stronger, especially in these times of crisis and times of difficulty. We need to help each other, and we need to learn from each other now more than ever in these difficult days. So these have indeed been huge challenges and hardship for our country, for our community, especially here now in Florida, and for really the whole world. So many people are out of jobs. So many people have gotten sick. Even our beloved, Brother Nizar, he hasn't mentioned it, but just in case you all haven't heard, he was very, very sick. Strong man, Brother Nizar, and he was in the hospital. So Allah knows best the reasons for this, and again, Allah make us safe. But at the same time, I just want to point out that wonderful things have also happened. We have to sort of try to seek the wisdom and reasoning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala certainly is in control, right? And throughout these months of turmoil and trial and tribulation, we see that, for example, we don't need to look far for really big blessings and bounties. So our masajid, many of our masajid, they've become beacons of light and beacons of service to humanity. Some of them are continuing to this day, alhamdulillah, and these things, they just would not have happened. And so this is a blessing, and Allah reward all of those brothers and sisters in the masajid and the boards and the organizations who have been doing an enormous fantastic job with serving humanity with food distributions and COVID testing and free meals. This is maybe one of the many reasons that we don't realize, but it could be hidden reasons why maybe Allah wanted to extract this goodness and wake us up. There's many other things, I won't mention them all, but we're working together more, and our imams have come together, alhamdulillah, and I'm really pleased. And I don't think that that process with our imams would have happened in the pace that it has if it wasn't for the circumstances of this year. Not only that, we've been working with our health experts and our free clinics in the community. We have been, our social service organizations have been working together. Our civic engagement and organizations and social justice organizations have mobilized, and there's a lot more synergy, a lot more collaboration, and this is good things. We're building these alliances both internally within our own community, which I believe is like first priority, and then also externally, right? And we're helping each other more, so that's a good thing. Lastly, I would just say that about this platform, the Federation, alhamdulillah, it's no longer a dream. It's a dream no longer. It's a reality. It's a great platform. It's being utilized more and more every week, every month. We're seeing more benefit from this. More crises are coming, right? We've had so many crises just this year alone, right? There will be more. These trials and these crises, they're not going to stop. Believe me. There's so many things that are going to come our way, and the nice thing about our community now is, alhamdulillah, we are well positioned to deal with these things at a regional level. We can mobilize our leaders, we can mobilize our imams, and we have done that, and we can handle these problems in what I would call an unmosqued. We are not an unmosqued community. Some other communities actually have handled these issues in an unmosqued fashion. I would just give you an example of there's been a crisis of sexual abuse claims and all that. And Me Too phenomenon and all that. And some other communities have handled these things really sadly, this kind of a way that's disengaged from the mosques and from the masajid. Alhamdulillah, in South Florida, we are not unmosqued. And I'm really proud to say that. And we work with our masajid. The masajid are the backbone of the Federation, and they're the backbone of our community, hand in hand with each other and hand in hand with all the other ancillary organizations like civic engagement, social service, so on and so forth. So it's a tremendous blessing to have this platform. Let's use it. In closing, I'll just say let's continue to use it. Let's not build this up. And we went through all these years of planning and bylaws and elections and all that. Let's make sure we don't miss opportunities to continue to use it. Let's take it to the next level. Let's become stronger and more united, inshallah, with the Federation, especially in these difficult times. May Allah accept all of you for all your good deeds in these blessed days that we are in of of the blessed days of Dhul Hijjah. May He give us tawfiq and to unite for what's good and to unite for what's pleasing to Him. May He put blessings and barakah in this meeting, in this online gathering with these noble community leaders. May this gathering bear many fruits and many productive outcomes that will benefit us individually and collectively for our generation as well as for our subsequent generations. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. One last thing, I just wanted to apologize. We wanted to make sure you all know the current team that's running the federation. It's listed here on the screen. I'll just run through the names real quick. It's myself, Brother Walid Hamada, Sister Fifa is the secretary, Brother Manzoor, the treasurer, Sister Maha is outreach, Brother Abbas Hashim is our revenue coordinator, Brother Wilfredo Ruiz for communications, Brother Yunus Ismail, he's our Broward rep, elected Broward rep. Sister Patricia Salahuddin is our elected Miami-Dade rep. And Brother Abdul Khan is our Palm Beach representative. And lastly, but not least, our wonderful staff, alhamdulillah, you all know Brother Nizar Hamza, he's our executive director. He is part-time these days because of budget concerns. Budget constraints. Unfortunately, we had to roll some of these back to part-time, but alhamdulillah, he's still very much with us as available. And Sister Rana El Sergani, who is also our program coordinator, part-time. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, thank you, Brother Samir. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I just want to quickly say, it's an interesting time. Usually I'm at Hajj every year. For those of you who know me, I go to Hajj quite a bit. The Imams, I'm able to travel with them. I was sick, like Brother Samir said, and I found myself, I was talking with Sheikh Tariq, kind of counting the minutes between each prayer. So it's a very unusual phenomenon for me to experience that, but alhamdulillah for everything, I'm getting better. And I briefly, about the Federation and the ability where we are and where we can go, our long-term plan. I'm seeing a lot more collaboration. I'm seeing a lot more people using the regional platform that we've created here in South Florida. I'm also seeing some opportunity, for the platform to be used a little more. This is your organization. It's meant from the grassroots. You guys are the members. You guys elect the leadership. You guys make the laws. And I want to thank everyone that's been involved and for allowing me to be part of this organization. So thank you very much. Let me just shift. I'll go to the Imams Council. So the Council of Imams, or the Imams Council. This is, when we first started this project, I will be brief about this. I asked the Imams when we were meeting if there was muscle memory of our community working together, if they've been trained on how to work together to build community, not just in the masjid, but larger. And I got the answer to the negative on that, and it's been very refreshing. I have to tell you that all of our beloved Imams, our hardworking Imams, have really truly embraced the spirit of unity in the concept in the Federation. They all, every single one of them are engaged. Every single one of them care. Their voices are heard. They share their opinions. So that's what, this council came, and, we have different things I'll go over. You can go to the next slide, Samir. So just a couple of things. This is a continuation. The first town hall that we had was at ICBR, and you see the Imams that were there. We spoke about challenges facing the Muslim youth. We brought all of these Imams together on a panel, and we were able to engage with them. We learned a lot from that. The next one was on April 19th. We had a virtual one because of what was happening on COVID. So we had all of our Imams on this flyer. They were, and Brother Taha moderated both of them, by the way. So thank you, Brother Taha. So the last one, we had over 100 people online. So if you guys know, it's very difficult to get those type of numbers for that, and it was very successful. And that particular one is about how to celebrate, Ramadan from home when we were physically isolated. Next slide. The COVID crisis was a very interesting time and a new time for all of us because some masajid had to close the congregational prayer. It was very difficult. It was a very difficult decision. Some masajid made unilateral decisions and closed on their own. Some masajid took shura and participated and got the opinion of other local scholars and used the federation as a platform for the imams to come together to make this very, very important decision. So this is an example of how regionally we are working together and how this particular group, which by the way, you guys are very, very interesting individuals and they're very knowledgeable. And it's been a blessing for me because I've been driving this particular project with the time that I have now to keep the imams engaged, and they're all very respectful. They love each other. They love me, and we're really making a lot of headway. So, so the COVID crisis, we had a joint response, joint statements. We had a conference call with Dr. Hassan, who's an infectious disease doctor, and he's the president. What was that, Samir? The American Muslim
Health Professionals President. Yeah,
Health Professionals, yeah. So we actually had originally, when this first came out on March 15th, the COVID crisis, he updated our imams. So they understood from a medical standpoint what was happening. From that was a joint recommendation to suspend Jummah for 3 weeks. Then again, until further notice, we updated on Ramadan. We resumed at limited openings. These are all from the joint efforts of the imams. So I hope all of you, all the board members on this call really do appreciate your imams and the time that they spend. It's easy, listen, it's easy just to make a decision. Anybody can do that. Samir or myself or somebody in the federation can think about something and make a decision, but it's our deen, it's in our blood to shura, to make these types of decisions together, especially when it affects everybody regionally. The last call was a very unique call and that we had with our imams. And just so you know, the imams were able to mobilize for this particular call. It was just under 3 days. I called for the imams and the majority of them, I think there was, I forgot, 19 people on the call and the majority of them were imams. On July 18th, UHI, Brother Khalid Mirza brought UHI into the Imams Council, and we brought 3 doctors. We had Dr. Jaffer, Dr. Latif Jinga, and Dr. Subhani. So we had 3 doctors on the call, and they updated the imams for, it was probably over an hour, I think, with updates about COVID, what's happening locally, what's happening now, how it's affecting everybody, what the hospitals look like, and they were able to answer very specific health questions, so they can make better decisions and they can raise awareness better in their community. So I want to take a second and thank Brother Khalid Mirza, thank UHI. This is a local resource that is very valuable that our imams benefited from. So this is an example of our regional work on the Council of Imams, inshallah. So is there another slide, Samir? And then the statement is online. I don't want to have to go through the statement, but if you look, you'll see all of the imams that joined in, offered feedback, made suggestions. We changed the statement, and then all of these imams signed off against the statements against racism by the Council of Imams. So this particular statement is on our website, so you can see that when the George Floyd murder happened, we all came together very quickly. We mobilized their spiritual leaders and we addressed it very quickly. So that's on our website, and I think Brother Samir will go through that a little bit later. He'll go through the website, some hot points. We had our first press conference together where you can see all of our imams are standing together. Quite a few of them showed up. We had good media coverage of that. We had some interfaith partners there, Jewish Voice for Peace, Florida Immigrant Coalition, Reverend Norman Hemming was there. We had a very good, strong participation. Wilfredo headed that effort up. Thank you, Brother Wilfredo. I was actually that was the first time when I realized I got tested when I was getting sick. So yeah, this COVID is something. But so we had really good media coverage. There were several media channels there. Our imams got to speak against racism. So it was very productive. And the imams, I got personal calls from the imams, and they are very grateful that their together voice, their united voice is being projected. So it was very successful. Thank you guys very much. So I'm done. I'm going to mute off, and then I'm inshallah, we're going to hand it off to Samir or Yunus, correct?
Yeah, Brother Yunus, please.
Brother Yunus. Thank you guys. Assalamu alaikum. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.
Thank you, Nisa.
Brother Yunus.
Brother Yunus, you're muted.
Hi to the host, but
Okay, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. First, I want to apologize for my little horsey voice. I'm somewhat under the influence of drugs, legally though, inshallah. So try to summarize the activities of the social service. As you know, Service Council has membership from Friends of Humanity, IFSF Food Pantry, Islamic Relief, Basma, and some of them, work. Some of them work exclusively in the U.S., like and some of them work locally and overseas as well. The various organizations are represented by the local representatives, Brother Abdul from Mikna, Brother Walid Hamadi from Relief, Sister Kausar from ISFOP, Brother Nasim Haq from Helping Hands, Brother Mir Hassan from Basma, and supporting volunteer organizations of MSA, CSF, Brother Taha. So these are various organizations that make up the of the Social Service Council. I'm going to make a point here that national organizations, we have local organizations. National organizations have been able to be flexible enough while they have their national protocol to work with the local organizations. And that's a great achievement and a reflection on the collaboration and the cooperation that we have from these organizations. So I commend them all and certainly appreciate to be flexible enough to work with us. In terms of what social service council does, mostly it works in the areas of economic assistance, prevention, shelter services, medical clinics and other health services, backpack distribution, refugee services, and various youth services. This is generally the scope of our social services council. And this is a moving target. So inshallah, we are evolving, we are growing. And as we see opportunities, our council, we have Shura, and then of course we work under the leadership of the committee to get directions and set the strategic goals for the coming months and years. The first, one of the, we just do a summary project we have recently completed. First one being.
Brother Yunus, can you hear me?
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me, Brother Yunus?
Yes, I can.
Your audio for the majority of the time sounds good, but it gets muffled to the point where nobody can, or I can't hear you. I don't know if you're moving or how you're connected, but there seems to be some issue with your audio.
Okay, I had tried my headset before. I can try it again, but it turned out that the PC speaker were better. Can you hear me now?
It's better
Yeah,
now.
we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Better now.
Lot
Yeah.
better.
Okay, inshallah. So one of the projects that we did was when the COVID-19 stimulus package came, alhamdulillah, we were able to CPAs and attorneys and financial advisors back in April of 2020. And alhamdulillah, it was attended by, and as a result, alhamdulillah, many masajid and other nonprofits who were not familiar with what's in the stimulus package, and they were able to take advantage of the various programs that were available, and many of them, alhamdulillah, economic packages from the next slide. One of the very first thing we did when COVID-19 started to, we organized a food delivery service whereby via online registration, we had asked individuals and needy families to register, and we delivered food boxes along with face to their homes, and we were able to, alhamdulillah, distribute about 200 boxes using the various volunteers from different organizations, and with Suleiman's leadership, our TSF, as well as so alhamdulillah, this turned out to be a very successful endeavor and needed, and we were able to help numerous families. At the time when Ramadan came, back for a second on the for the COVID-19 relief, we also during the Ramadan provided cooked iftar meals. We were through the generous donations and sponsorship of various community members, as well as through medical sponsors, we were able to cook iftar meals, and then also to drive-in programs at Masjid Ansar and Al Hikmat as well, and that again was very timely, and alhamdulillah, we were able to provide make it easy for the needy families. Next, please. In addition to those food spot distribution, there were two major food drive distributions organized under the umbrella of Federation with various organizations. Alhamdulillah, through Pampano Masjid, major lead effort was Alhamdulillah, Friends of Humanity and other organizations joined together, and we had a very successful drive. 50 food boxes were delivered through the food drive, along with the I want to here take a minute and thank the IFS Food Pantry. In most of these food drives, IFS Food Pantry was the sort of the home base where we would stage the boxes. They supplied. We borrowed some food items from it and replenished or paid them back for those food supply items. But Sister Koser and a team of volunteers, Brother Muhammad and all the other folks in the pantry, they were superbly helpful in helping us work on these projects. Next slide. Similarly, in addition to a similar drive at Masjid Ansar as well, and we distributed 300 boxes as well. Again, Sister Nia, Imams were very helpful in organizing this effort. ICNA, volunteers, again, we joined together and had a very successful drive-through program at Masjid Ansar as well. Next. Alhamdulillah, this was one of our executive committee member had an opportunity to provide us multiple pallets of toys, and to the MSA volunteers, our young professionals, we were able to sort out those pallets of toys into packages of 25 toys per box, boxes, each containing 25 to 30 toys, to the various masajid, to do a quick registration, and then they were able to come pick boxes from IFSF cafeteria. Once again, we thank IFSF and their management, especially Brother Muhammad. He was superb in managing the preparation of these food boxes. Now let's quickly cover through the efforts of Brother and Brother Dr. Ansar Khan, through Lab 24, they were able to multiple tests at over 12 masajid we have done, including one being done today, which is at I1F, and tomorrow is Masjid al-Muttaqin. They will complete about 12 masajid. We have other 12 masajid already signed up. Unfortunately, Lab 24 has some issues in terms of turning back the results. So we are looking for some other partner. But in the meantime, over 900 and alhamdulillah, very well organized effort, volunteers from the Lab 24 as well as volunteers from the clinic, and have been very helpful in providing us the space, the facility, and the local volunteers to manage the traffic. So overall, alhamdulillah, it's been a great effort. The various organizations as well as the masajid have played a key role in the. So we thank all the masajid, their imams, their management for participating and in providing us great help in completing these projects. There were other projects as well. For now, this will be the end of my summary.
Assalamualaikum. Can somebody confirm that my voice is clear?
Clear.
Okay.
Clear.
If I start going in and out, don't delay. I'll just switch to my phone. Just tell me right away, inshallah. Okay. So first of all, Brother Yunus, Brother Nazar, may Allah give you both full shifat, speedy recovery. We need you. The community needs you. So I hope you are both getting much needed inshallah. So I had the community outreach, outreach committee, and it is newly formed, and we have all these wonderful in our committee. Of course, my internet connection is unstable.
We can hear you fine, Sister Maha.
You're coming clear.
Okay, perfect. So we did start this outreach
What
committee.
did you say?
So we started this outreach committee, and what I love about the committee is that it's very diverse from our community. I feel like it is a good representative of different groups and different parts of our community. There's diversity. So it's a strong team. So inshallah, I see them doing so much in the year to come, inshallah. Okay, so two of the events that we did, one of them was a discussion with Commissioner Beamfer. It was via Zoom because of the situation. It was an extremely helpful discussion about COVID-19, what to expect in our county, We obviously went into the issues of Black Lives Matter and what has been going on as far as defunding the police, sorry, Nazar, and you know, allocating funds to different parts of the community, and just a systemic change. It was a really good discussion. I enjoyed it. We had good turnout. Thank you to Dr. Mirsad for setting that up. He did a great job. Something else that we have started is colorism and anti-Black racism. It's actually going to be multiple sessions. We had our first session, what's the date on there? July 12th. And it was nice to see the community so receptive. It was nice to hear from our African-American community and to give the community a better understanding of how they experience racism within our community and the hardships that they experience and where we need to change and what trainings we need to have in our communities, in our masajid. So I urge everybody to encourage your community to log on to the next one. We haven't scheduled the date yet, but that will go out soon, inshallah. And it's a conversation that we absolutely need to have. So I did that with Sister Patricia, and it was just an absolute honor to work with her on that. You can go to the next slide. Part of our outreach, of course, included rallies against racism, considering what's going on in the community. We had the peaceful rally against racism with ICNA, and there was a rally with the local Haitian community. Again, Dr. Mirsad made some excellent connections there. And then we did the Channel the Rage rally. And again, we urge the Muslim community to work with Black Lives Matters and whatever other organizations there are that are trying to defeat racism and urge some systemic reform in this issue. Okay, so there were other events like the Broward Sheriff's Candidate Forum. Obviously, that event and the prior event with Commissioner Beamfer was with Engage. We did a mandatory reporting training for many of the Imams. I appreciate the Imams that showed up for that. It's an issue that often goes silent in our community, and it's coming up more frequently now. It's something we absolutely need to learn about. There needs to be policies and procedures in place. So I was appreciative to the Imams that showed up to that training and engaged and really asked questions and tried to gain an understanding of, you know, what's our legal responsibility and what happens when somebody discloses abuse and when does the abuse hotline need to be called, when is law enforcement supposed to be called, and exactly what do we do to protect the victims in our community. Juneteenth at Majal Ansar. In that picture, you see Brother Samir and Sister Patricia. Juneteenth is a holiday on June 19th. It memorializes the day that the last state recognized the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas. It was actually Texas. And, you know, in various other states, Juneteenth has been celebrated for many, many, many years. This is the first time in Florida that I actually see it celebrated, and Majal Ansar really took the lead on that. So that was wonderful. Op-ed opportunities we've created within the outreach committee. There are subcommittees that include a writers group. Maram Bahari, Dr. Maram Bahari is taking the lead on that. So I'm asking each of you to contact us if you have people in your community that want to be writers that can draft op-eds. Nazar just did the last one. And what we do is it's an opinion editorial. We're making connections with the various newspapers and media to try to push out the Muslim perspective on various issues. It doesn't have to be about Islam. It could be about what you do, things that you're seeing in the medical field, things you're seeing as an engineer, whatever it is that you do. If you have an opinion about it, we need our voices heard in every area of the community. Next slide, inshallah. Okay, so this is something that has come up. Ironically, we did the abuse report training prior to this issue arising in our community. I don't know how many of you are aware of what's going on, but I do urge the community at large to stay alert as to what is happening to our youth on social media. There are some imams that are more engaged in this process than others, but it's really critical, because we had this huge influx of allegations of sexual assault, sexually predatory behavior. We had allegations of just, not knowing boundaries. There were several allegations that came, and, it was call after call after call. I think for 2 weeks, my phone was off the chain with these calls. And it's interesting because some of these allegations happened years ago, and apparently our youth didn't feel safe enough to tell anyone. And we really have to fix this problem. So we're creating a sexual abuse reporting system, and it may be called something else. It just needs to be some sort of a reporting system, because everything's getting kind of lumped into one, and there are several different issues that need to be addressed, whether it's boundaries issues, reporting child abuse, reporting domestic violence, there are so many different issues going on simultaneously. So we're in the process of creating a reporting system. And the idea is the ultimate goal is to create a safe space and to help victims, or we like to call them survivors, heal. Because right now our survivors are too afraid to come to the masjid for help, and that can't happen. We have to fix this. So it's basically an educational process. We're trying to look into different trainings that we can provide to the different communities, or we could do one big training for the entire South Florida community. But this is something that is at the forefront right now with our youth. It hit Twitter really hard. There were lists going out. So it impacts everyone. And again, we have to engage our children, because I have children and I found out from other children. So we need to be able to find that out from our own children, right? So we created this list. It's a brief list. It's a work in progress. I realize the North Center phone number needs to be corrected on there. But if there are therapists that want to help survivors, or people that want to volunteer their time and be trained in how to receive calls to help people who are victimized on an emergency basis, we're trying to do that. So it's a committee to develop a system of reporting abuse, as well as legal, psychological, spiritual counseling. And we have an event planned for the youth to discuss proper boundaries, adab, warning signs that they may be groomed into this type of abuse. So it is something that we need to talk about. It's kind of been a taboo topic, and we really need to have a better understanding, and as a community, be able to protect our youth and protect anyone that's victimized. Because at the end of the day, this is not just the victimization of girls. We have the victimization of boys also in the Muslim community. So these are real issues, inshallah. I think that's my last slide, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. All yours, Nazar.
All right, I'm just going to go over this real fast. Alhamdulillah, the matrimony event was a huge success. I know COVID kind of put the brakes on everything, but inshallah, we'll be able to have a very successful event when we pick this back up. Sister Azra's on the phone here with us. We had a tremendous turnout. I think we had requests for over 65 matches. So it was a very well attended, very well received. We got excellent feedback about what we can do better, and we will do better, but it was a grand slam right out of the bat. So please look for more of these as things start to clear up, inshallah. Thank you.
I need to, this is Junaid. I was listening to Sister Maha. I think at this pandemic time, we need to really focus on our young youth about this psychological, social, and also spiritual. I think we need to, as a board, as a federation, we need to focus on at this time, because a lot of students are not going back to school or colleges, and they're having a tremendous amount of stress and kind of depression, and sometimes extreme. So I think this is the time that we need to double focus on this and help Sister Maha any way, shape, or form we can to make these things a focal point right now. Because I've been hearing in my community a lot of situations that Sister Maha just mentioned, and we need to connect each other in a federation through federation. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Junaid. I forgot to mention that. I'm happy you said that. I did get several calls where our youth were suicidal. So this is like real talk. It's very concerning, and I had to like back burner some of my other goals for the community outreach committee because this like really, I've always known it was an issue, but the amount of calls that came in back to back was shocking. And you might be right. It might be that this pandemic is impacting them and now they feel the need to come forward. It could be the isolation. I don't know what it is, but nonetheless, it's real. And so I urge, again, like we do not want to lose any of our youth. Please, please, like know the signs, pay attention. And if you need any help, call us. One of us, anybody on that list will help you, inshallah.
Why don't we finish the presentation, and then we'll go to open forum right afterwards, and we can talk more. So really quick, to wrap up the presentation, I was super excited about this. We put in hours and hours about this Eid Fest program. Worked with a lot of partners, a lot of people on the phone are aware. And unfortunately, of course, this is on hold right now. We found a great venue. We have a great team set up, led by Annie Hayat, to put this celebration for Eid together. Unfortunately, again, it all came to a halt in February, but inshallah, when things do clear up, we will definitely pick this back up. And Afifa, you want to briefly talk about the last two slides, and then we'll switch to open forum.
Yeah, so real quick, I know we are super late time, so inshallah, Florida Muslim Capital Day, that was one of the suggestions coming from the last general body meeting that Federation participated. And it's alhamdulillah, it was very successful. We had over 200 people who had meetings with over 25 different elected officials. And there were two things that Engage has started discussing that was leading the effort along with other Federation members, right? And some other organization from all over the state. So they're working on two issues. One is ensuring that there's funding for enhanced safety and security of masajid. And the second was around the school safety. So these were the two issues that we are working on in terms of legislative-wise. And also the second issue, the third issue that we are working on Muslim Capital Day, and inshallah we'll be picking up again in 2021, is funding for the Muslim healthcare clinics. So those are things that Engage along with other partners are working on in the Muslim Capital Day. And the next is census, Brother Samir, real quick. So again, that was coming up from our members, like, getting engaged in census. So that's another participation that Engage and Federation had. We had, I believe it was like around 10 events at different masajid. Brother Mirsad was the moderator, facilitator, and Engage helped set up those events too. So that was another collaborative effort that happened.
Okay. So I think we're at the point where we're running quite late, but we definitely wanted to hear from you all. Afifa, why don't you kick off the open forum portion of the meeting, and then after this, we'll have the session with Brother Tayyip.
Okay, so alhamdulillah, we got like a lot of suggestions on different action items that our members want Federation to work on. So we are very limited in time, so we have like 3 topics that we will be discussing, but inshallah not ignoring all other issues. So we'll be making sure that someone from Federation reaches out to all of you who have given those suggestions and work on those issues. So we are going by the orders that we have received these suggestions. So the first one is by Al-Hikmat. Brother Fahad, are you on the call? Brother Fahad? Okay, moving on. Brother Khurram from Engage, Get Out the Vote. Do you want to real quick talk about what this initiative is?
Sure. So, assalamu alaikum, everybody. So we have an election coming up on August 18th, and then of course, and that is a primary election, but it's also a general for many city races or races where there's no opponent and they're just Democrats running against Democrats, especially in Broward County. So that's a very important date. We need to organize, engage would like the help of the Federation in organizing volunteers to do a get out the vote effort. We need to do a phone banking. We have the list, but we need people to help with the calls. Of course, everyone can call from home, from their own homes. And we have that system already set up, but we need people, volunteers. The election registration to vote day already went by, unfortunately, so we can't really publicize that. That was last week, but we really need everybody's help, and we need our imams and others at the masajids to start pushing it out through their own lists, through their own networks, to get out the vote for the August election. Of course, everybody also knows there's a November election coming. We can talk about that one later. But right now, we really need everybody's help in getting out the vote. So I think the action items I'm asking for is, one, is to help amplify the message of getting out the vote. And Engage has sort of, already prepared stuff that you guys that everyone can push out. The second is we need everyone's help on raising the level of volunteers for a phone bank day. I don't know what that day is. We were looking at August 3rd and successive Saturdays after that. So my understanding is we're targeting to start that on August 3rd. And then the third thing we need is, of course, is to make sure that our imams and others who have gravity in the community are talking about the need for voting as a Muslim community, the responsibility as Muslims to participate in the civic process, and of course, our duty as Americans to be participating in this process. So that's basically where we're at with the get out the vote. We don't have a lot of time, obviously, because of the COVID situation. We are trying to figure out how to do it without our normal way of doing it. We don't have the door-to-door knocking and other good stuff that we've done in the past. We don't have the early vote effort where we gather folks to go by bus to the polls and the whole day at the polls that we normally do. We're not going to do that this year. But we do need to encourage people to also vote by mail. You can still order your ballots, and we need to do that. So we have all the messaging. I just need to know how to get it to the masjid communities so they get it out on their own listservs. Thanks.
Kerm, real fast. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for Engage for putting out your voter's guide. To be honest with you, I only know, and probably most people are like this, they only know about a couple of races. So the guide is very, very helpful to get a guidance from Engage on who to vote for from the Muslim perspective. And through your guys' vetting process. So this obviously, Kerm, is the correct platform to talk to all of the leaders. You are not only talking to the Federation leadership, you're actually talking to all the leaders of the masajid themselves that are on this phone call right now. So if you have the information, and we can share that too, but because I know it's all over South Florida and things like that, the WhatsApp. But if you have a question directly, or you want to talk directly to the leaders of the masjids that don't have Engage or don't typically have pushed out your stuff, now is the time to talk to them, to ask them.
Yeah, so this is the ask. What I would do is say that maybe we can get something to the Federation, and the Federation can then share it to the members, and then hopefully, inshallah, the members can put it on their own e-blasts or social media, however they communicate with their communities.
Inshallah. Thank you, Brother Khurram. And we'll try to do a quick vote at the end of all the suggestions. Moving on, we have Sister Sobia from Helping Hands, and you're talking about school safety precautions and materials for kids. Do you want to real quick brief Federation members what this issue is about?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I was actually discussing this safety kits at school thing with my friend and the social activist Mishka. We were actually looking into finding grants for children to have notebooks and sanitizers, gloves, and those kind of safety stuff that actually can help them going back to school. Also, like even if they're not going to school, I was also looking if we can do like e-learning programs, so the families who are really not into it can actually can work better with their kids, especially the parents. They need to learn a bit about computers and those basic technology, so they can actually help their kids like learn better. So I was kind of like looking if we can do some short courses for adults where we can make them comfortable using technology, and also like some kind of safety gears for kids if they are going back to school.
Thank you, Sister Sophia. So inshallah, we'll talk about it a little bit more. So let's go to the next suggestion. Brother Muhammad Hussain from Islamic Jafri Association. The Federation needs to be a hub where all South Florida Muslim organization and center can provide their programs activities. Do you want a real quick brief about that?
Real quick, Afifa, can you let Sadiq back in? I didn't mean to cut you off, Brother Mohammed, but he's texting me.
No problem, no problem.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Brother Mohammed.
So the main thing with this one was, I feel like the South Florida Federation, how, we just discussed with MGAGE, like MGAGE sends the information to South Florida Federation, and Federation just sends it to each masajid and organization, and then the organization takes the lead on it. So the same way, like, be the head of the organization of the state of South Florida, and then communicate and like let the centers come to you with their interfaith ideas, how they want to do it, and then you can give them your perspective. Oh, we feel it should be like this. You should add this into it. So I want like the South Florida Muslim Federation to be like the top of, like, we all reach out to you and you can say, okay, this masjid is doing this, so you can communicate and help us like connect with each other.
Thank you, Brother Hussain. So we'll go, inshallah, real quick into a little bit of discussion, not long, because we have Brother Tayyib waiting for us and we do not want to keep our guests waiting. So we'll do a quick vote. Is there any objection that Federation works with MGAGE in assisting with GeoTV and volunteer efforts?
No objections.
Yeah, it's not only MGAGE, it's all of the organization, like Cosmos, any organization, how they work, like we work together.
Yeah.
So you guys be like the head, and then you give us all the information from them. If we need something, like we'll reach out to you and like that.
Inshallah. Yeah, Brother Muhammad Hussain, I was talking about like, the 3 suggestions. So real quick voting. So it seems no objection there. Brother Basim, you have your hand raised. Do you want to real quick say anything at this time? Brother Basim?
Yes, mashallah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Walaikum
Salam.
Mashallah. Since it's time for, since we're speaking about the, let me turn my video on. We're speaking about it's time now it's the season for the election and so on and so forth. So the candidates do not have access now to local centers to basically go and say their appeals and so on. But I would like to suggest that if MGAGE come up with will adopt actually the program that we started at ICBR a couple of years back, and we call it Meet Your Constituents program, where basically anyone who calls us, and of course we event a little bit, but I would like to engage to do that actually as a front end, to get all these local requests from the local candidates and tell them, yes, we do have some program called Meet Your Constituent program, where you can have access to the Muslim community through Friday prayers. And then they have a participating masajid, especially the big ones, that they allow these candidates to go and speak right after Friday prayer. And normally the way we do it, we used to do it as when we were open, we ask them to attend the prayer, the congregation. So they sit there, they attend the whole ceremony, and then once the imam finished the salah, one will stand up and say, today we have two guests, and then we let them speak for 2 minutes. And it has been a very successful program. So I like that program as is proven to be successful. I like Engage to actually take it and adopt it and make it a regular agenda item on their platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Basim. So inshallah, so there is no objection working with Engage. Moving on to Sister Sobia's suggestion around school safety. That's basically Social Services Council. If I'm thinking that will go there. Any objection to working on that issue?
No objection.
No, I don't have no.
Okay, inshallah. And then Brother Muhammad Hussain's is more sort of like communication. Brother Shehryar, you have your hand raised. You can unmute yourself.
So related to the school safety, is there anything that we can do as school is going to reopen in about a month and it's going to be virtual, most likely, or not, but what we can do to help our community for those parents who are going to be in a position where if the school is virtual and they're at home, but the parents are working, they have no means or method of kind of having their children being taken care of. I'm not saying to come up with a solution, but maybe at least put something together so that we can come up with maybe a resource guide or something for the communities so that they have someplace to go. I think it's going to be a very big challenge in 30 days when school reopens and people are going to work now where they weren't back in March when school closed.
Yes, most definitely. So inshallah, I think maybe we can have like a smaller discussion with Social Services Council member, and we can come up with like, kind of like resource guide, but also like, what should be the strategy around it. So inshallah, moving forward, Brother Muhammad Hussain's issue is basically around communication. So yes, of course, like, the Federation is a hub for all the organizations. So please use our resources in whatever way to streamline and communicate those messages effectively. I just do want to point out Brother Muhammad Farouk has given some suggestions too, along with Brother Wilfredo and Brother Sohail. So inshallah, we will reach out to you all to talk about those suggestions, but unfortunately right now we're running out of time. So we'll move back to our agenda item right now. Thank you for the open forum and discussion. Brother Nizar.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I think if the slide's up, if I'm not mistaken, Samir, that this is the training portion of the meeting, if I'm correct, with Brother Tayyab?
Correct.
Correct.
I guess before that, I think there was one thing about the next meeting. Before we hand it over to Brother Tayyab, should we finalize a date for our next general body meeting?
I think we can. It may take a little bit more time also, Brother Samir. Okay. So we can also send it in the WhatsApp group with different suggestions and take a poll over there. It has worked very effectively this time, so let's try it again. Inshallah. Inshallah. So I think, yeah, it's coming back to me. So inshallah, it's I am personally very excited about this, and I do not get really excited real quick. So this has to be amazing. I remember the first training Brother Tayyab did in one of the Federation members, and I have like a severe disability when it comes to paying attention. And I was one of them who have actually turned the phone off and listened to Brother Tayyab. So personally very excited about this opportunity. But we have Brother Khalid Mirza who will introduce Brother Tayyab. And Brother Tayyab, can we do real quick a sound check? Can you hear us?
Yeah, mic check.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Brother Khalid Mirza.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'm very excited too. This is my discussion and dream for the last several years to bring some experts to our community. They can train us because we have a lot of members in our community on the boards. They are there on the boards, but they don't know what their function is. So I'm so glad we're starting this program. Brother, Yunus has a long resume, but I will only do very short, so we cannot go over the time. Brother Yunus is the founder and CEO of the Initiative IT Solutions, Inc. I missed the word, but anyhow, it's a social enterprise from 9 locations around the world. They have 500 plus team members. They are transforming human talent to the human capacity for non-profit and for-profit companies. It seems to me, mashallah, alhamdulillah, is a very, very good big task he's doing. I never knew that. He has so many locations and so many people. He's also a faculty at Indiana University Lilly School of Philanthropy. I know this is a school that we have a couple other Muslim brothers over there, like Sharik over there. They've been studying and now they're teaching over there. So he's a young professor over there. He's also president of the Center of Muslim Philanthropy that is attained over 750, again, difficulty saying philanthropists. So he has 750 people trained by him, and those are non-profit organizations. His life mission is to improve the human conditions. He's been providing aesthetic guidance to both for-profit and non-profit organizations over 20 years. When you look at the picture, it looks very young. So before I gave it to him, I had a little joke. When I was growing up in a small town, in a village in Pakistan, we used to do fundraising every Friday. The 2 brothers, they'll hold a white sheet, and then we go walk through the lanes in the masjid. When I came over here, then I realized we have brothers, they have PhDs in this field. I'm really impressed. This is my little joke. So I came from village with raising money with the white sheets, holding and collecting a change and single dollar, single rupees. But now we have went to the point. We are really professional people at doing it. And we really like to learn from him, the experience, inshallah.